Hello. It's quite difficult to understand you back there, I guess. Hello, everyone. Anyway. Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I'd like to talk a little bit about mixed reality, or actual mixed reality use cases in at Audi. And for those, maybe you haven't, or for those who haven't, who don't really know what we are doing, just a quick introduction. We make those beautiful cars. Don't know if you already seen them on the street, but yeah, they're very, very beautiful. Let me put it like this. Quick introduction from my side. My name is Martin Rademacher. I'm working in the department for digital technologies, production and supply chain. So just to give you a brief overview, this is actually where we make those cars, and I'm part of a team in a central, in the central department for digitalization, and we're taking care about digital technologies, which are extended reality, mixed reality, also no-code, low-code, computer vision implementations, and yeah, today I would like to talk a little bit about mixed reality, augmented reality, and maybe you have seen online some screenshots from our actual usage of augmented reality. This is a screenshot or a picture taken in 2019. There has been done some layout planning, bin layout planning in the supply chain department. And another picture you might see when you type in Google Audi augmented reality. This is a quality assurance usage of augmented reality. They pull out every one body for each shift, and they check whether the bolts are in the right position. And well, this is those are just like two examples, two prototypical examples of how we use augmented reality or mixed reality in the production department. There has been a little bit more activities earlier as well. So basically, we've been doing augmented reality for a long time in the whole Volkswagen group. We started earlier. You might know the company Metaio, who started very early. And so there were first activities in pretty early days. We did lots of prototypical implementations, lots of testing, but actually we had the problem that augmented reality never really scaled. So we never really made it widely distributed, widely usable within at least the production department. Especially under the given requirements when you're have to take care about safety. I mean, we're talking about the production environment, the shop floor environment. So optical see-through is somehow crucial when we talk about security. So we have to do all the IT security assessments which have to be done. If you want to have it widely distributed in the production department, then you have to have it integrated into maintenance, or you have to set up maintenance processes for that. And all in all, everything has to be like smoothly integrated into the whole enterprise IT. And this is actually where the whole, where the topic of Simon earlier comes into into place a little bit. But I mean, in the end, we want to support our colleagues in the different business units, so in the actual departments, and they don't really care about all those safety and security, and they care about maintenance and support. But in the end, we just want to have happy users. So people who are using augmented reality as an enhancement for their daily processes. So the question is still how to scale augmented reality. And we tried to set up or to somehow find a framework. We thought about like generative approaches where we could test and implement augmented reality applications or augmented reality use cases. So one was education and training. The second quadrant is the support of manual activities, then the quality assurance and documentation, and then the fourth one would be remote support and remote collaboration. I mean, this shouldn't be very new to you, I guess. Those are mainly the different use case categories where you could have a look or a deeper dive into. But so we already, as you've might have seen in the second picture, we already found solutions for quality control and documentation. So there was no real need of activity for us there. So we focused on education and training and remote support and collaboration. Okay, that still works pretty well. Cool. So now I'm about to talk a little bit in detail about our different pilots on those two use case categories. So starting with the augmented reality training approach, what you see here is a picture taken out of the HoloLens. You see several different frames. You also see 3D models. Let me check. Yeah, probably you see them. So the different arrows over there. You see also indications, like what step has to be performed, and you also see videos and photos. And the overall goal was to increase the qualification process, to get faster, better trained blue-collar colleagues, blue-collar workers. So this is mainly, well, let's start a little bit earlier. So roughly 1/3 of each assembly processes is going to be trained, and there was a need for an improvement of the training process. And this is actually the outcome. So we used a system, we set up a system, we integrated all the information, all the training information into the system, and we showed our colleagues from the different department whether that would be nice or not, whether that would be helpful or not for them. And the feedback was quite positive, actually. So we had 6 out of 8 people in the first survey who said, well, looks pretty nice. We have like even if when we're using the HoloLens, it's still not that ergonomic-wise, not so heavy to wear. It's quite nice. The instructions are very nice, but the main information which was consumed for performing the qualification task was actually the video. So there was no real need for the written instructions. There was no real need for the 3D models, yeah, that was a nice information we got out of the survey with our colleagues. And on the other hand, so the usage is pretty cool, or was pretty nice from our blue-collar workers, but there still has to be a creation of the training. And we found out that authoring a training in space, in 3D, is really, really difficult. It takes lots of time, and our colleagues, our trainers, our actual trainers are trained to explain things on reality, on real chassis, on real assembly tasks, and not really creating 3D trainings. So there might be a switch to, or there might be a transformation from their task, but yeah, on the other hand, we thought, well, this has to be investigated a little bit deeper, and we compared different approaches on how to author training. So we used a HoloLens-based approach. We prototyped a device on the Quest, or on a prototype on the Quest. We tested this with different trainers, and we just used a simple smartphone application, which was really, really easy to use and easy to learn. And in the end, it turned out that the most handy device, most available device, fastly available device, the iPhone, was the most chosen, or had the highest, best outcome of the usage. So we see, well, even if it won't be really augmented reality or mixed reality, in the end, it's very important to have like the qualification process being successful. And therefore, well, we thought maybe there's no 100% real, 100% need for mixed reality or augmented reality as we would refer to when we talk about that. Getting to the second use case, second pilot, it's a little bit what Simon said earlier with our Matt, with our engineer. We do have lots of brownfield plants, so we have lots of buildings there, and we do some changings in the building, and we have like very limited time frame of changing, of making changes in our assembly line, usually in summertime and around Christmas time when there's no production. And sometimes it's very difficult to explain either our colleagues in the planning department or the higher management why it takes so much time to make changes in our assembly line. So usually, or basically what we do, or what we did, is printing out a 2D plan and then showing that. And mainly higher management said, well, I don't understand why it takes so much time to change everything. And then we said, well, maybe we should have a look on the third dimension and to see how much changes has to be made in the upper stories in the factory to adjust everything. So what we said, or what our goal was to make to provide a supporting tool for decision making. Let's put it like this, and to give it directly to the different departments for testing it or for using it. And the feedback is quite well, actually. You don't really need experts for deploying the BIM models to the different devices, so that worked quite well, actually, astonishingly well. We still have some issues, so the whole setup, the whole tracking setup is a little bit difficult. Somehow there's still a problem of finding the right data, but once the data is there, then getting it to the devices is quite easy. And yes, so the outcome is pretty well, and we think that we know that we are going to pursue this or continue this use case, and to try to integrate it into our daily work processes. Let's come to the third pilot I want to talk about. The main use case with augmented reality or mixed reality, I would say, so the whole remote support, remote assist use case. This picture is not so self-explanatory, I would say. That's because we are testing it in some confidential environment. So I just took a picture in our offices. But I mean, what you see is like a plan, an electrical plan from inside the glasses, and that there's an expert connected, remote expert connected to the glasses to explain the situation, what has to be done. Goal, obviously, is to reduce downtime for machinery and obviously as well reduce travel costs. And the feedback so far is pretty well about the concept. It's really nice. It would be very, very helpful for us to have those technology, those concepts available within our maintenance departments. But there's still a hurdle or barrier to what we find out. I mean, once you have an established communication channel within your enterprise systems, you have to stick to them, actually. So people are getting used to standard communication channels like MS Teams, for example. So the main necessity here is to really stick to those communication channels and not really setting up new ways of communication. So I hope I gave a small overview about our different pilots that we are working on right now. But the question is still how to scale AR. So we did pilots, we did pilot testing, we talked with several different departments, with IT colleagues, well, I think the way of scaling AR would first of all to give hands-on new hardware, new software, as we always did. I mean, we are always looking out for new concepts, new technologies, new software, new hardware, and then testing them in a safe environment with our different departments. Second, very, very important thing is for scaling would be the integration into our enterprise IT. And this is, like when it comes to bigger companies, might be a little bit difficult and time-consuming, let's put it like this. Probably, I mean, when you've been working with larger enterprises, you might know that might take some time, sometimes. And thirdly, it's very important to resolve the existing barriers. I mean, we have, as we've been talking in the introduction, it's about the concept, for example. So when we are in the shop floor, everyone is talking about Apple Vision Pro. Apple Vision Pro is a video see-through device, and video see-through device in the shop floor, where there are forklifts driving around, might be a little bit difficult, and might be a little bit difficult to get in validation from environmental health and safety. So, a little bit sadly, Microsoft announced lately that the HoloLens won't be supported much longer, but this was a very nice device. But, I mean, on the other hand, we still have the whole thing about mobile device management, which is another thing. Once you have like a standalone device, you have to have a mobile device management set up, which increases costs of administration, which increases processes. So why don't we stick to our phone, which is already managed in our environment? So and then maybe there's a device which we can just tether to the phone and use it as an external display plus an external camera to our phone, and then have an integration into our communication channels. So this just a few thoughts. And there's still, I mean, every time when you want to switch to a new software, you still have to do all the software validation and software integration processes, which are still time-consuming and which might take a while. So don't want to be so pessimistic about that, but there's still a few things to do for really scaling AR or mixed reality. And I wanted to give you a few thoughts. Excuse me for the rough beginning, but I'm kind of like done with my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. And if there are any questions,
I think we have time for a couple of questions.
One or two questions. Yeah.
There's a microphone over here. If you have like any questions,
No worries, I'll be around, so you can always come to me and talk to me directly. Yeah, thank you very much for your attention, and see you.
Hello, hello? No? Hello? Hello? Oh. So, I think some of us are experiencing the same challenges with the news from Microsoft, but prior to that, adoption in shop floor. How have you worked with that, and what are your incentives in getting that up and running? So actually having people use these new technologies.
I don't know if I understood correctly, but adoption was the question?
Yes, adoption from the end user.
Somehow a little bit difficult. Yeah, well, I mean, we're still kind of like in the beginning of trying to get deeper feedback, and it's all about. I mean, it's all about the trade-off between how much does a device cost and how widely can we roll out that devices, how many devices can we buy, and what would be the efficiency on that. But our idea is anyway to get a bigger adoption, bigger distribution, especially in the maintenance departments, especially in combination with large language models, chatbots, and so on. I mean, everyone is talking about that, and everybody probably doing research on that, or maybe implementation already. But this is our goal, basically. Yeah. Does it answer your question? I'm sorry.
Another one.
Can you hear me? You can hear me now?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Well, works.
Okay. It's a similar question to the adoption question, but in terms of how compartmentalized a lot of these companies are in terms of the maintenance, the mechanics, the floor versus the sales and sort of those departments. How was your experience in terms of breaking into these companies and getting them to understand the value in using these technologies between both? So having the remote support thing was obviously a really low-hanging fruit in terms of the use case, but maybe you could just give a couple of insights in terms of how the journey was for breaking into the companies and getting them to understand the value proposition.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Good question, actually. How to get into the different departments, breaking up silos. And I'm here talking from a production perspective, very silos-based, actually, isn't it? So I have been in contact with colleagues from different divisions. At the end, every business unit is responsible for their own outcome, isn't it? And I mean, thing what we can do is creating communities, discussing, showing, promoting the hands-on, as I said earlier, and the hope that there's adoption. There will be adoption in the different divisions as well, from an honest perspective. Okay. Thank you very much, and for any questions, thank you.